Oh, I'm so excited that you're taking time out on your Saturday to learn more about finding love during the holiday season. So thank you for joining in. And you might need to mute your side. I'm getting some feedback, so feel free to mute yourself. And we're going to dive in a bunch, and I'll have you guys ask me questions at the end. So feel free to make some notes and double check all of this. And let me know if you have any questions at all. So I wanted to introduce myself, and hopefully you can see on the screen that we're going to talk about finding love in the holiday season. I'm so excited. I am Jacqueline Nichols. I am the founder and creator of Intuitive Matchmaking, which many of you know. I have just recently been blessed to be able to sell it to Brooke, and she's been with my agency for 2.5 years, doing great and really loving it, and realized it was time for it to move on to the new owner. Even when I designed the company, I always felt like somebody else was going to continue running it because of the work that I was going to be able to do with people at a broader spectrum. So I thank you for taking part in this phase over that we are doing and building Jacqueline and Company. What's really exciting is that I'm able to take my wealth of many, many years of knowledge and insight to pass on to you and be able to give you the advice and the tools that I have found to be so successful. I've been having the matchmaking agency for 3.5 years, but previous to that, I had a charitable organization. I actually drove a pink Cadillac with Mary Kay, so I'm very well versed in leadership and business skills too. So it's been over 20 years of my business success that I'm able to utilize in the dating world and relationship world. I actually have matched so many couples that they were the ones saying, well, what happens now that our Finding Love series isn't necessary because we found each other? We want to stay together. We want to build a future. So that was a big part of what I realized I needed to add this sister company on because I want to keep my couples together. I also have a great deal of couples that were married for 20 plus years actually that come to me saying, we're really struggling in our marriage. How can we find the love again? So my journey really has been to walk and support with people at all stages of love. So you will be receiving different information that comes from Jacqueline and Company email. We're still a combined company in many ways, but this way Brooke focuses on the more specific matchmaking, the private matchmaking and customizing. But I also realized a lot of times you guys can find love organically. You can find it on your own. Some people aren't ready to hire a personal matchmaker, but that makes it no less different that your need and desire for love isn't real and true. So taking time out from your busy schedule to say, hey, I want to know more. The truth of the matter is, when I started this agency with a big motivation knowing that there were so many incredible single people really ready for love, wanting love, willing to work for love, but they couldn't find each other. And just because two people are single doesn't mean that they go together. There's a lot of factors that play and come together for it to work. Even if sometimes I'd meet somebody for a matchmaking client and I'd hear everything that they were sharing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, on paper, you're exactly what another client wants. But then they'd meet, and the chemistry just wasn't there, or the conversation was maybe too nervous or too distracted, and they missed a prime opportunity from a matchmaker's perspective to meet. But the truth of the matter is, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But they also were sometimes not open to the tools of change and discovery. So you taking time to learn is going to find love so much faster for you. Now we're approaching the holiday season. Holiday season is a big time of year for people, and a lot of people go on different emotional roller coasters. As I train with my matchmakers, I let them know that sometimes people kind of shut down during the holiday season and don't want to do any dating. They don't want any rejection. They don't want any distraction. They just want to kind of get through it. Other people are thinking, well, hey, why not start working on this so I can have it for the future? And this is something that I really focus on with people. I think it's important to be open, be receptive any time of year. But why not find someone to snuggle with this time of year? It's going to get cold soon, and it would be nice to have somebody that you could share and start building some memories. I'm not talking about commingling the families together for the holidays this quickly. Some people get nervous about that. It's about walking and moving forward on your journey. Think about what it is that matters to you. Finding love at any time of your life, any time of year, isn't always about being easy. It's about being fluid and moving you forward. What's really exciting and so much fun is when people get out of their own way, that's when the love shows up. So we're going to go step by step, and I'm going to give you nuggets of inspiration, some ideas to work with, and at the end I'm going to share some really fun specials that we have going on to continue supporting you on this journey. First, I want you to know that because you cared enough to stop and pause your day to learn more, you're receiving 14 days of inspiration that I personally created. So every day for the next 14 days, you're going to get a tip, an idea, an inspiration, something new to focus on. It sometimes feels like it's a full-time job being a matchmaker because we really do all these things and step by step. And as a single person, you might feel like you're like us as a job. But the reality is you are looking for one person, that real person. See, I don't have to look for anybody else person. So just like we work full-time, you might feel like you're working full-time. The truth is, it's your choice. You get to decide how much you work at it. It's not supposed to be like going to the gym workout where you're breaking a sweat. This is just exhausting and tiring. But it's for gym workout results. You know, if you go to the gym 3 times a week, week in and week out, you're going to be in pretty good shape in a few months. But if you go to the gym once a month for 3 months, not a lot's going to change. So like with our 90 days of tips, we are focused on that because we know if every day you're thinking just a little something extra towards keeping yourself open, you're going to be able to be more aware for attracting someone amazing in your life. So often people join the agency and shortly thereafter they find that they have found somebody great because they've opened themselves in a different way. And it was so many times somebody they never expected to be the person. That's what's so crazy. It's so surprising and such a great honor to be able to witness it too with people. So as you are opening yourself and you are thinking about what is it that you want, I want you to just be very present in this conversation I'm having with you. I know right now it feels very one-on-one to you because we're not going back and forth. But at the end, any questions you've got, we're going to cover those. The most important thing is for you to start shifting your perspective. My goal with clients is to move people to turn just 15 degrees to have a different look at things. It's not always about looking backwards through the rearview mirror. It's not about beating yourself up for the past. It's about opening yourself up. It's about saying, hey, I want to hear this a little bit differently. I want different results. I don't want to keep dating and dating and dating. I want to find that person. I want to date to attract a relationship. You got to do it differently. When I do my dating workshops, Master the Art of Dating, so many people are stuck in dating mode. They have not opened themselves up to move to the next place. And that's why they never seem to attract relationship material. So my focus for you on this webinar is to just give you some nuggets to get the thought process stirring, to get you to wake up and think about things a little differently, because you've got to do things different to get different results. Doesn't mean that what you've been doing isn't good. It's just not quite what you need for the results that you want. Unfortunately, it's not like it was in high school when you knew the kids in class, knew them down the hall, you knew that where they lived in their parents' home down the street, or college, you knew that they were just down the dorm, you knew how to find them in the classes. It's different as we get older, and especially if it's later in life and you have children, you've already been through a marriage, you might have different dynamics that you've got to juggle. There's a lot more pieces to play together. There's a lot of emotions that go into being in a relationship, but the truth that you have to remember is that there's also logic. Sometimes long-distance relationships can be really hard. Sometimes people with children, they're not quite ready to mingle with somebody else, and these work schedules don't really work. Some people are just different chapters, and it just isn't that easy. So let's go ahead and go step by step through the questions. And again, write down everything you want me to cover at the end. I'm really excited to talk with you. So finding love in the holiday season. We have so many clients that fall in love at this time. One of my favorite stories to jump on first to get you excited is that wonderful gal. She came to a big event we were sponsoring, so there were lots of people that we didn't know. She walked in, looked like $1 million, had a great lighthearted attitude. She'd already been doing months of our homework and our lessons that we do for our clients. So she had been doing a lot of self-reflection and openness. And she walks in the room, tons of gorgeous women and handsome men, and she goes, okay, who do you want me to meet? And I was like, you know what, there's a guy over there I spy. I don't even know who he is, but I love how he holds himself, how he's engaging conversation because people keep wanting to talk to him. He seems to be making people feel comfortable, but there's something about him I'm super drawn to. So she I spied him too, and she went off to the side, talked to some friends for a bit, kept checking back, waited till there was a break in the action, didn't just approach when there were 5 other women swarming because there were lots of distractions that he was focused on, and she waited for the right time. She waited for the moment to go up and just say hi, and we were, of course, playing a game, so it was a fun conversation piece to get started, and then while they were there talking, she just got enough enticement, enough fun flirt, and then she left and started talking to some other people. And then she came back a little bit. And so she didn't make it where she was there for so long that it was awkward, but she also made it so that she was unforgettable. She didn't try to blend in with all the other women that all looked beautiful and wonderful, but kind of were all similar. She made herself a little bit different. And then after the pre-mingle, when the bigger party started, she went out and looked around for him, and then when she saw him, she captured his attention again, and you know what? They've been together ever since. They're about to move in together, and it was an immediate connection. He actually calls it the Cinderella ball for meeting her, but what was interesting was 2 things. One, she made a decision to open herself up and be receptive to whoever it was, not knowing all the answers, but that she would take the steps appropriately without overdoing, but also being available, approachable, inviting. And 2, he had actually had a holiday by himself for Christmas. He had nobody to spend Christmas with. So he made a decision that before New Year's happened, he would find something to go to. He would look strong and put he had this amazing suit on. He looked very polished. He also stood strong. He commanded himself in a great way, but he had a warm heart, wonderful energy. And what was really neat, he said, and I've talked to him, of course, since, he said that when he went to this event, he said, I want to find a woman that I can date for a while. I don't want to just hook up with somebody. I don't want to just have a fling. I really am looking for a relationship. So he passed over all the little hotties that were so caught up in how much they could show appeal and energy to get him to want him for that night. At New Year's, why not? But instead, he said, I wanted to find someone that felt like they had more relationship material. Making that shift and how he looked at things gave him different results. And man, he is crazy, head over heels in love with this woman. But it took the 2 people being in the right mindset. So let's dive into the next part that we want to really focus on as you are thinking about your journey. So begin identifying the emotional and physical blocks that have held you back from discovering love. This is a big one because people have been hurt and they carry baggage. And one of the phrases one of my clients said, I just want a guy with matching set of luggage, 2 carry-ons, let's go. You know, sometimes people show up with 15 baggage if you think about if you were to physically put your emotional stuff into suitcases, how many bags would you fill up? Some people are really light, ready to go, just jump on the plane and go. But dating somebody with so much weight and emotional blockage, it's kind of hard to move forward. So I want you to really think about these things. Are you struggling because of your own physical self? Do you feel good about yourself? Most people don't really notice that you maybe gained a little bit of weight or you're losing a little bit of hair. They notice how you care and hold yourself. That is a huge part of your own self-image. So how is your self-image? How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel that somebody should get to know you? Have you gotten compliments on your look, maybe an outfit you bought recently, your hairstyle, that you're just seen in fun, you catch people's attention, or are you somebody who's kind of blocked away? A lot of people actually are really not very good at eye contact. This is a big part of one of our workshops that we do. Our flirting workshop is to talk about eye contact. You have to be inviting, but if you've got some emotional walls that are scaring people away, you might not be getting the response you want because people can sense it. It's amazing how much you can project without saying a word. So what are the things that you're doing? Are you really ready to date? I have clients that I tell people that I'm like, no, you're not allowed to date. I often think people should take a dating probation time. It's really important to do. Sometimes you just need to take a few months off and focus on healing from the past, making actual room for somebody new, and being willing to be in a relationship mode, not just active dating mode where you just keep meeting people for 1 or 2 days and go to the next one where you're not connecting. So think about it. Are you really ready to make room? Are you ready to make time for someone? Are you ready to meet someone you want to introduce to friends and family? Some people like to keep all of that separate, which means they're really not ready to be in a relationship. They just don't want to be alone. So look at your situation. Are you taking the time to stop, pause, and check each of the stages and steps that you're doing? Are you really thinking this through? Are you actually looking at someone and thinking, wow, wouldn't it be neat to get to know you for a long time? Or are you looking at them thinking, wow, we could have a fun weekend together? This is where people get very blocked. One of the things I've been noticing a tremendous amount for people is that they actually create this space of, I'll make room for you when you show me you're worth it. Well, nobody really wants to be proving their value before they even know you're worth proving it for. So you've got to create this willingness to start thinking that you're ready and start doing life as if you're ready for somebody new. Do you live in a space that is very much immersed in your ex-husband or ex-wife's life? What kind of things are you doing that are making it kind of seem not very comfortable? Maybe your conversation, you're talking about your exes. Maybe you're comparing situations that are really not that good. Think about this, because a lot of people don't think they talk about their ex, but as a matchmaker, we get feedback, and they actually talk a lot about their ex. It feels like you just brought that person to the table. I refer to it as emotional companionship. It's month one of our workbook, so some of you might have already heard about it. But what happens is you create this space that it's like having 3 of you on the date. So if they're talking about their ex, you might have all 4 of you at the date. And from what I understand, most people really wouldn't want to have their actual ex on a date with their new person they're dating. So think about, are you really letting go? You can't time clock this stuff. If it's been a year since the marriage broke up or the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and it's been a few months, maybe you're not ready. Maybe you are ready. I personally think you need a year life cycle for long-term relationships. You need a season without that person. If you've been married and with somebody in a committed relationship for 10 or more years, you might want to take a year just to self-reflect, pause, break the cycle so you don't just date the same kind of person. A phrase I use is the paper doll theory, where you kind of cut and pasted. The old person is cut out, you put the new person in, but there's not a lot of changes. In order to get different results and different success, you really want to take the time to move yourself forward in a new direction. And this is about you saying, I'd rather take time out now to get on track so that when I do find my person, I'll actually recognize them, embrace them, allow them into my space, and be great about it. Because so many people we get calls all the time of people that they literally will email us one day, or the person they're dating, saying, oh, we broke up, we're not dating anymore. And we'll get an email the very next day saying, okay, who's next? It's like, okay, you have to take a little bit of time to pause and think, well, what was it wrong with that person? What didn't go right? What can I do differently for the next person? So this is an important part of your process too. Now, the next one we're going to jump to is to gain more understanding about the partner you truly desire to attract into your life. This is a big one. People get really in this list, and I appreciate it. Of course, we as, matchmakers and love experts and relationship experts, we need to know what you want. But sometimes that list is so rigid that nobody's going to fit in it. And I think some people actually do that on purpose because it's easier to prove that that person's just not out there than to think maybe I need to make some changes. So I want you to think about this. Take your list of your top 10 things that really matter to you and then narrow it down to 3. Let's get a better understanding of what really matters. Things like religion are usually very much important that we can't really adjust with. If you want someone to go to church with you every week, then you need somebody who wants that already, who's already in that lifestyle. Some people haven't been going to church because they've been waiting for the partner to go, but the Christian or spiritual beliefs are important to them. Maybe it's a different religion and they're different, but they like that they care and believe in a higher power. But you've got to be on a similar field for the most part with religion. If you're wanting to have children, then you want to be with somebody who's in that age range and has also been thinking about that. But at the same time, I often say men and women are different at that. Women tend to be thinking, I want kids because, biological clock is ticking. Whereas men will be thinking, I want to find the partner, and then if we're supposed to have children, we'll have children. And then there's some men that are like, I really want the children, where's a fertile gal, And it's kind of like stepping back and looking at what are your priorities, but understanding that for a lot of people, they kind of need to find each other before they can make the next step decision. And in order to do that, you need to really be clear that you're going to be open and flexible. For some people, having a kid is not negotiable, so therefore they won't even date somebody who absolutely doesn't want kids, and I think that's smart. But if there's someone who's kind of on the fence and is just waiting for the right person, be a little flexible and aware of that. Some people get really caught on height and age. I think it's more important to let chemistry make those choices, and even like weight and things that you kind of have to let the person be revealed. I always say you can't get a new personality, but you can lose weight. And the reasoning from that is I want you to understand that sometimes people gain a little weight. Maybe they've had a bad time. Maybe they just haven't been as active. Maybe life has been too busy and they haven't slowed down for it. But they can lose the weight. They can go take walks. You can eat healthier. People so often want everybody to already be at the perfect place that they hope their partner will be at when they're together. But truthfully, especially when I witness so many of my couples that are so amazingly happy from the matches, they are so much better, so much happier because they're together. They bring out the best in each other. They've lost weight. They've bought new homes. They've traveled. Life is lighter because they have a partner to balance it out. So understand that some things are work in progress. Some things are an evolution. So allow the evolving part of this process to happen. Let each of you might need a little polishing, they might need a little polishing. So be a little more open. I was just talking to an amazing client of mine, and she has really opened up. She took the first 3 months of the program to just focus on herself, get her own garbage, her own life obstacles, her own, pre-thought process, heal from her past relationships, move herself in a direction to truly be open and ready before she started dating. Well, she just passed her 3-month mark. She's now dating, and she got a date right away. She's beautiful. She's a neat gal. But she also, the guy that asked her out wasn't necessarily the one she had all this chemistry with, but he had everything else. And she's realizing what I've talked a lot about. Chemistry doesn't happen like it used to in high school and college. It takes a little bit of time. We have emotional walls, like I said in the earlier point. We have a lot of barricades of trust. We have a lot of fear of rejection. And so she was able to feel comfortable because they developed a friendship very quickly. And that part was exciting. That part was what was wonderful. That was the piece that she felt like, wow, I can enjoy this person. And he took the initiative, and they've already got more dates lined up, but they also took the steps to be clear that this was a date, but it was also really fun and comfortable. It wasn't that awkwardness of a lot of dates. So when you think about your partner, think about what really, really matters. Now again, in this list, I don't want you to put the negative things. So often people get really distracted and think that they need to make, I don't want an alcoholic, I don't want a smoker. You already know this. You already know you don't want a heavy drinker. You already know you don't want a smoker. You already know you don't want somebody who uses drugs, whatever your things are. But you don't need to remind yourself that those are all very non-negotiable. That don't even have to be on a list. It's an immediate delete button you're going to have. You need to make your list of the things you kind of need to remind yourself, things that are important with this relationship that might have been missing or lacking in another relationship. So pick the things that you're focusing in on, because there's natural things you already know that don't even need to be a reminder. There's other things you're open. Some people really like to be with a recovering alcoholic because their previous partner was one, and they know how to work with somebody, and they understand the life and the language. Sometimes it makes a difference. It's important. Some people really don't care as much about this extensive healthy lifestyle, where others want to be able to hike like crazy and they want all those things. You just have to really think what matters the most. And that's a part that I really want you to become aware of. Now, we're going to jump to the next question. How to create a life and space that invites success to go from dating and into a relationship. All right, I know some of you have heard me say this before. This is the big shift. This is when you honestly say, I'm going to stop looking everywhere else. There's always going to be distractions. There's always going to be people that you're going to be like, oh, she's really pretty, or he's really cute. But there's a difference between dating because someone's attractive and dating because they get in your heart space. So there's the difference that you, yes, you get to make that decision. This is where I want you to become very aware. I had this one great client. He's a really, really neat guy. And he kept dating what I referred to as appetizer material. When he kept dating appetizer material, he only dated the women for about 6 months. And he had a history of this year after year after year after year. Well, he hadn't really healed from his past relationship that was a longer relationship. So he started just dating short term. Nothing he had to commit to, just a little bit of fun. And then they would all kind of, in my opinion, and it shocked him when I said this to him, and once he realized it, he stopped dating appetizer material. But it was like he dated people with an expiration date. He dated people that weren't necessarily going to last because he knew it. They'd be fun, they'd be great for the season, but he didn't treat it like a relationship. When he decided and understood what he was doing as a pattern, all of a sudden he found the most wonderful woman that is beyond perfect for him, and she knows it, he knows it, and there's no question, but he shifted, and the love word came out very quickly, whereas it was always part of the rule, never say it, not going to go there. But that didn't mean he didn't want company, he just wasn't willing to put himself out there. Now, the other part about moving from dating to a relationship, one thing I always say to my clients is to visually, in manifestation, is to actually empty a drawer in your home, empty a drawer in the bathroom, empty a drawer in your closet, and dressers, make room. I had one client, he actually made half his closet available because he's like, I know when she shows up, she's probably going to take over my whole closet. So he wanted to have room. He wanted to remember that that empty space was going to be filled with somebody wonderful very soon. This is the piece that people miss out on. They forget to be visually reminding themselves regularly that I want somebody to fill that space. And women, I find, actually tend to get so busy. Oh, good, great. I've got questions. I'll answer those questions as we get a little bit towards the end. And thank you. I appreciate you popping up and telling me you had a question. We're going to write your question down, and then I'll do a bunch of Q&A at the end. And so that I can make sure I cover everything. But what's exciting and so much fun is that when you go and get yourself in a place that says, I'm no longer going to be so busy that I've got to have somebody prove that they deserve time with me, then you can do that. And for women tend to be crazy busy. A lot of times I've had gentlemen go, I can't even see her for 2 or 3 weeks. I want somebody that I can see in the next 2 or 3 days. And yes, we know the first week or two is busy when you first are meeting someone because they maybe already had plans. But if you've got your life so full that every day there's something going on, the chances of you being able to really project energy that you're single and available, it's not going to really happen. People are going to pass you over for dating because they're going to think you're too much work to date. Even though I know when the right person comes along, you'd be happy to cancel a couple of those activities. The reality is that you have to be having room. I have a fabulous client. We have a big thing that we always try to teach our clients is to block out a couple hours once a week that's just for you to be dating. If you're not on a date, take some time out for yourself. So when that date comes, you always know Thursday at 6 o'clock is your night, that you're ready, and there is no question if you're free because you always have that. Well, she was great. She'd take walks and think, if I was with my partner, what would I be doing? If I've got 2 glasses of wine, only one needs to be filled up with actually wine in it, so you don't get 2 glasses to have sitting next to you. But setting it out, having that second glass that reminds you, you want to have that person with you to share a nice evening in front of the fireplace. Creating that space. She even named her fake date, and she actually ended up meeting a man with almost the identical same name. And it was just such a strong feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm actually being clearly reminded that this is the person I'm supposed to be with. But she actually received it when it happened. There's a lot of people don't receive it. They tend to pull back and think, oh, well, they'll fit into my life. They'll do all these things for me. The reality is that they're pretty great too, and they have full lives too. But they want to feel special. They want to feel important. So look at your life. Look at what you're doing. What is it that you have done to create space? Do you have a good schedule with your ex? Are the kids going to just all of a sudden appear and you got to cancel your dates all the time because you guys are still doing a lot of emotional drama? Do you actually get weekends off? If not, are your kids old enough that they can respect that you want to go out, or do you have good babysitters? Lining up things so you can start having an adult life. But you've got to look at people for the long term. When you start dating to be in a relationship, you do things differently. You talk to them in a way that you want to have conversations to discuss stuff. If you date just to date, you're only going to be kind of making it to the next week or two and sometimes 6 months, but you're not building roots. You need to get clear as to why you want to be in a relationship. Recently, I just did a Master the Art of Dating workshop, and the group of people that were there were amazing. They had so much to offer, but a lot of them were really stuck in how their lives were going to change once they had somebody in their life. Like, maybe you'll have a new bedtime schedule and you'll have to go to bed earlier because you guys go and take walks in the morning. Maybe when you guys are living together, you're going to find that they like to stay up late at night. You're going to kind of adjust to that. Maybe it's just going to be those little Friday nights are now no longer for you just to sit at home. They're going to be free to go out and have fun. Maybe you're going to find that you now want to stay at home because you're together. You don't know what it is. Maybe you're going to enjoy cooking with somebody regularly. Maybe it's having someone that you can make plans with. The thing with the holiday season is it's an emotional time. A lot of people are having to deal with lots of changes in their lives during the holidays. So wouldn't you like to be that person that just kind of made Thanksgiving a little easier? Maybe someone that made, whether it's Christmas or you've got yourself and you're Jewish and you have other religions. Maybe you don't even celebrate the holiday. Maybe you're Baha'i. You need to choose your customs. Your religious beliefs are yours. Your spiritual beliefs are yours, whether you have them or you don't. But some people like the tradition. I know lots of people that aren't necessarily religious, but they still celebrate some of the holidays because all the stores are closed. Everything's closed, and they still want to have that time. Whatever your role is at this time of year, it's about reminding yourself that you want to share it with somebody, that you'll be able to share it with next year. So opening your eyes, a lot of really neat relationships we find have come together this time of year because people are done kind of eye-wandering. They're done circling around and just find anybody. They want to date for their company party. They want to have someone to show off and say, hey, this person and I are having a good time together. It's that mindset. The moment a client shifts from the dating mode to relationship mode is the moment that we no longer have to be looking for matches for them. They change. They're no longer looking for perfection. They're looking for possibilities because that person has so much of what they want. Now they've got to work on just fine-tuning what else they need to have in a relationship. Maybe the chemistry is just going to take a little bit. We always think people should go out for about 3 to 5 dates. We've had so many clients, no chemistry in the first or second date, but they trust and respected our advice, hung in there, and by date 3, 4, or 5, suddenly they can't resist being together. Chemistry is so different. You've got to touch the other person in a nice, appropriate way. Give them a hug, touch them on the side of their arm, bump their leg under the table, but let that chemistry start sparking. It's an emotional endorphin to be released, but a lot of people are kind of pulling back, kind of pulled away. So this is where you shift, especially during the holidays because it's snuggle season, by doing the next steps. So now I'm going to talk about one more topic and then we're going to dive into questions. So thank you guys for having those questions ready. The next is to understand the steps to take to attract love in the next 90 days. I love working on 90-day cycles. We actually have a special I'm going to tell you about too that we can get you even more focused. But if you really look at today's date and then go out 90 days, we're going to get you through the November holiday, the December holiday, and into the new year, and just before the Valentine, so that we can get you to a place where you're consistently thinking about things you need to move forward. In that 90 days, think about things. Do I need to get my home more organized? So I'd want to bring a date home. Do I need to be out, making myself go to things? I have a client that we focus on. She goes to one spiritual thing a week and one social thing a week because she's new in town somewhere. So what each week of her consistency? Well, she's already dating. She's already found somebody wonderful. And it didn't take 90 days to do that. But it took her saying, no matter what, every week I've got to force myself to try something new in a new situation. I'm going to do one thing spiritual and one thing social. So every week we check in and we talk about what did she do, and it's held her accountable. You need to hold yourself accountable. I have an accountability program to keep you on track, and it will help you and support you from the time slipping away. So many people that when they try to do it all on their own, they lose track. They don't know that, oh my gosh, another month went by. Can you believe it? We're already in November? Oh my gosh, 2 months and this year's done. We'll get to start the year all over again with a new year, new possibilities. But these 2 months are when people are really looking. They're really open. This is our most open time. Come spring and summer, people tend to be more into, oh, I'll meet them at a social. I'll meet them out at the park. And so there's a little bit more of an open field attitude, whereas it's closer quarters during the colder season. So it's a little more prime picking to enjoy. So think about what you can do for the next 90 days. Are you wanting to lose some weight? Do you need to get in shape? Do you need to get a little more fit? Can you commit to a workout plan just for 90 days? I'm not talking about the whole New Year's thing, not about resolutions. I'm talking about changing some things. Is there maybe some food items that you need to cut back? You need to get healthier eating. Well, you do it for 90 days. That's not too long. Find your thing that you need to focus in on for 90 days so that you can be able to feel the difference. And then I want you to do is write down what life would be like in 90 days. I want you to write it now, but date it for 90 days from now and write it to yourself. Put it somewhere where you can put a little reminder on your phone to go look at it in your desk drawer, whatever it is, but go 90 days out and write yourself a note. I am so happy on, I guess that would be January 2nd, basically, counted out, or February 2nd, sorry, February 2nd, and say, on February 2nd, I am so excited. I lost 15 pounds. I have found the love of my life because I took the time to go to different socials. I made a point of going to 15 socials over the last 90 days. Or I got more active in my church, in my community. I made time out for my schedule. Write down things that you're doing, going to be doing, and then write it as if you already did it. So write a little letter to yourself for what 90 days from now will look like, and congratulate yourself so that in 90 days you open this envelope and you read it as if you've done all of this stuff. You have to send the message out, message to the universe, message to yourself. Give yourself permission to raise your deserve level. Stay committed to the journey, figure out what it is that you want, and then surprise yourself in 90 days when you open that letter and look at how much you actually manifested to come true. But you have to make the commitment. You have to say, I'm willing to do it, and I'm willing to stick with it. Only 90 days, and it'll be more exciting and more fun, and it helps you kind of get through the emotional roller coaster of the holiday season and make it more fun. So pick the things, grab nuggets from what I've shared with you, find nuggets within you that you want to commit to for 90 days. And let me know. I'd like for you to email me what those are. And I'm going to jump on here, and I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions in just a couple more moments, so thanks for hanging in there. I'm just really excited to find out what your nuggets are. So real fast, I'm going to tell you about some specials we're doing because I'm totally in love with supporting people in love. And so only right now, because these are crazy deals that I'm doing. So you've got today through the end of tomorrow, so Sunday, Pacific Standard Time by midnight, you can purchase these items at these really crazy prices because I just want to support you for love. So the first one is our 90-day accountability and advice package. This is really focused on you. This is you and I working together, straight up advice. So you're going to be able to email me once a week any question you have about anything, dating or relationship, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're wanting to deal with some junk in life so we can build you up to get comfortable with dating, but every single week. You could pick a date. We'll just know what it is. I have a lot of clients that send them out on Sundays. And so Monday, I then reply. So within 24 business day hours, I will be back and I'll be replying to you, answers to your questions. So once a week for a full 3 months. you can be sending me questions, and I will be answering them just for you. They're private emails to you. It's your information just for you. And then once a month, we can meet on Skype, or you can pop into my office if you're in the Lake Oswego area or Northwest Portland area, that you can come into our Lake Oswego office and we can do a one-on-one face appointment and keep you engaged. What I found are my clients that did the weekly work, as I've been doing this for so many years, those are the ones that found the love within the shortest amount of time. Those are the ones that when an opportunity came up, I was able to answer questions promptly, and it kept them focused. It kept them excited. It kept them hopeful. I have clients that will send me emails right from the bathroom, and we just go over them all at one time at the beginning of the week. So you'll just find the day of the week that's best for you, send it to me, and I will send you the answers. And then the next week, build up the questions, and I'll send them right to you. With years of working with singles and couples, I am excited to be able to give this opportunity to you. Now, this is normally a package that's actually $8.97 for 3 months, but just for you guys that are part of this, you get it for $3.97, but you have to purchase it by Friday, and we'll start your cycle so we can do the 90 days together. Now, the next one is our on-call advice. This is something I really like to focus with people on. I have so many clients that they just pre-purchase appointments with me so that when life hits a curveball, they need some support, they don't have to wait for their appointments later on or make a big deal out of it. They get that instant satisfaction to keep moving forward. I'm all about removing the roadblocks, finding out what blocks you have, what things are coming up, things that maybe there's somebody you went on a date with that you might think you shouldn't go out with, but the more you talk to me, I'm going to be like, yeah, you need to go out. I have so many clients that are in active, amazing relationships because they didn't follow their instincts, they listened to mine, and they kept dating someone until they discovered why I thought they should date. I have a great client who always said, I always thought you were rooting for the guy who's dating more than me, and now I realize you actually were rooting for me, and I'm madly in love with him. But it took her many months to realize he was the one. But he was patient, and he waited, and I knew he was the one, but she had to do some healing until she was ready to receive him. So that's what makes it nice. So now, normally it's $125 to get a half an hour of my time. And I'm doing a special that you can get $60 per half hour session. So it's only $60. So it's over half price, savings, and you can stock up. I have so many clients, they buy like 4 and 5, and you can use them whenever. They never expire. We'll give you a link to my calendar, and you can use them when we just count them down. And get as many as you want, and we'll have a link that we'll send you later, and you can use it whenever you need to. And that's what allows you the opportunity to just move yourself forward as you need it. Sometimes you need a couple all at once, and sometimes you might need it none for 2 months, and then you start dating someone, and you need to just do some check-in calls. So I wanted to give you that opportunity. Excuse me. The last is the remainder of our 90 days. This is our opportunity to be able to give you some extra information. You get 14 days for free for being on the webinar. Excuse me, I need to have some drink. All that talking got to me. You're getting your 14 days for free. To get the remainder, it's normally $99. But the exciting part that I'm giving to you is that you can get the remainder for only $44. So, excuse me. Next thing we're going to do is jump on for questions. So let me know if you need any more information, and we'll send you an email with the links to do the purchasing. It's only available for really the next, 36 hours, 35 hours. And we want to have you jump on there. So, all right, let's get these questions going. I apologize for my cough. All right. Thank you guys so much for typing them in. All right. Thank you. Okay, let me read the question real fast. Having trouble finding dates, where to go, and seems to be getting nowhere online, and going these dates with speed dating events doesn't seem to be getting me anywhere. Tried the bar nightclub. What should I do, and any suggestions? Awesome. I'm actually a huge advocate of really getting in that organic space. So one thing, like we talked about, is that you need to be very, very clear that you're ready for dating to find a relationship. You're not just dating to date. So once you work past that, the next part about the question is understanding online dating. Like our online dating that we have, we pre-approve and do background checks. But there's only a splash of people on there because a lot of people are very private. With other online dating sites, you have no idea what you're walking into. So what happens is, especially for men to women, women get inundated with hits. They're getting so many hits, so many people, that they spend more time just interacting online I know lots of people that have met people through the online sites, but honestly, my instinct is, and what my experience has been for people, it often taints them for dating. So when you're trying to meet someone on dating, truth is, you're getting somebody who's kind of maybe been through the ringer a little bit. They've had too many other people hitting and trying to get their attention. A lot of people, they'll be emailing back and forth, and then they never meet, and then they lose hope. So that's why online dating, it's not that there aren't great people on there. They're just kind of worn out and tired, and they're not getting a good feedback of reaction. So that is something I think you have to take it with a little grain of salt. I personally think if you're going to do online dating, do it for a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, but nothing more than that, and then come back a few months later if you need to. What happens is that people they spend too much time in that one space, and the reality is that it's like a billboard. It's like having a billboard. You're hoping somebody will slow down long enough to get you what you need. So I just want you to realize the bar is the next part that you're saying. The bar is really hard. If you're going to do the bar, the only chance I really find it actually works is earlier because they haven't been drinking too much. If you go for like the nighttime happy hour, sometimes they've already had the alcohol and the beer goggles are going and you've got that distraction. If you do the 3 to 6 o'clock time, where it's the after work, you're going to find the more business professional people. And sitting up at the bar stool is actually really good because you've got the bartender to interact with. You have an invitation because there's more of an open area where somebody might come sit next to you. If you go sit at a table or in the booth, you're less likely to get any interaction. What I have found, though, is that people, they get kind of that vibe of they're so focused on forward. So I'm often saying to people, make sure you turn like your shoulders, you turn to the person, and you make eye contact, and you just do a little light conversation. What I find is people tend to wait for the other to approach. You need to let and show the signal that you're interested, that you're feeling that connection, that you're curious, and so that they feel like the soft smile but not creepy smile. Then you're more likely to get somebody's attention. And look at kind of their setup. I often say when you're meeting people at a bar, don't go for the one that wants to be center of attention. Look for their friend. First of all, their friend is patient. Second of all, you don't want to have somebody that is always needing to be validated by the public of their worthiness. So have it just a little bit different. Have it where you're saying a little bit more about you and what you want by how you present yourself. Find somebody that maybe has a really sweet laugh, and you're like, I just have to say you've got a really nice laugh. What I find so often is guys will approach women, and they'll start talking. They'll be like, oh, my God, you're so hot. You're so beautiful. You're so this. Well, if she's really hot and beautiful, chances are she's heard that a million times. So when you meet somebody in that place, say something they've never heard before, like, I love your laugh. Or, just little things like, what kind of drink is that? Or, do you know of any fun places around town that have some fun festivals going on soon? Talking about unique things is important. So often people get lopsided in the things that they say, and the girl doesn't want to be an object. She wants to have a conversation where there's like some stimulation going on. So sometimes you can talk to her in a way that isn't about, hey, I'm going to hit on you. It's, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. You seem like a nice person, so that she feels safe to respond without it being overwhelming. So that's a big thing. Let's see, some more questions here. I would like that is, yeah, the gym thing. Meeting somebody at the gym is actually, I actually recommend against it on a dating level, because if they have a social, like some gyms have a great like restaurant area, that's easier. But for a lot of people, they're kind of in a space and they're in a brain space. And if they're working out, chances are they're working with a plan. Like they're working to exercise and be in their own zone. It's their meditation. And they don't want to feel like they're on display. A gym is it's a delicate space because you're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself in your gym clothes. You're exposing your own muscles, your own endurance. And if you feel like you're on display, it's uncomfortable. So even though somebody could be interested in you at the gym, the chances are they're going to send a not interested vibe out because they feel a little on display. They're kind of exposed because the clothes are tight-fitting. They're trying to focus more on their own personal well-being. So at a gym, I would focus more on it being in another area like the restaurant, like the cafe area. Maybe there's a little social mingle area. Maybe there's a social event coming up that you can go to and see if you run into them. But approaching somebody while they're actually working out kind of feels like they're trapped. A lot of women and men have both said, I felt trapped when someone tried to approach me at the gym because I wasn't there for that. I was there for another purpose. And sometimes people can't change the purpose over. So that's something to really keep in mind. Okay, so go ahead and send me any other questions that you guys have. We've got lots of great questions coming in, so I really appreciate that. And then the other place to ask women out on dates is find things in common, even going to a wine tasting, going to an art show, having a striked up conversation, going to some funky stuff, find out what's going on in your community, and going to something that other people might not go to. Because there are just such great places to go to, but people tend to not put themselves in a position to start that conversation. A lot of times the really great singles don't go to singles things. They don't want to wear, as I often say, a neon sign on their head says, come hit on me, I'm available. So they blend in with their married friends, and so sometimes you just have to have a conversation about other stuff and then wait and see. I've got a gal, she started a hiking group or joining a hiking group, and then at the end, one of the guys is like, I'm wondering if you're single, but she didn't go to the hike to meet anyone. She went to the hike to get a good workout, but she wanted to make new friends. So she did go for the friend part, but not for the dating part. And then the dating part came because she was more focused on building the friendships. So building that relationship is important. A lot of women, they need to feel safe. And men, women want to see you do stuff. They want to see how you treat other people. So group activities are great. So it's not like the gym necessarily. It's the fact that it's a group activity where they're all going together on this adventure. I think there's a great amount of cool things with Meetup. I know it's in almost every city everywhere. And so it's really an important part that I personally think is great. I have so many clients that have met great people through Meetup because they have an art walk group, they have a reading group, they have a cooking group. And so you're going with a different goal, then you're more likely to meet somebody really neat because they don't feel the pressure. I think it's a hard one. We have one last social coming up that's for the Portland area where we're doing a speed date mingle. And we've actually found that the mingle with the speed date has been more exciting because they don't feel the pressure to sit there for 6 minutes and rotate, where they can mingle around, chat with people, and then turn in their cards at the end and say to us, who are you interested in? So that's actually worked out really well in our favor. So look around. If you're not in the local area, look for ways that you can go and participate in something that's just more of an interactive thing. People do better when they have a purpose. Like our mingles, we always have a game or a question you've got to go out and ask. We have chances for prizes. So the focus is more on the knowledge you're going to get than going, oh, who am I attracted to? Because everybody knows they're being checked up and down. It's just a way that it makes it presenting. So that's something also to keep in mind. So any other questions you guys have, feel free to type in the boxes. We're about to wrap up. We've just got a couple more minutes. All right, anyone else? Good, you guys did great. I love these questions. They were so awesome. So we're going to be doing some more webinars, and what I'd love for you to do is email me any extra questions you want me to cover, and I will make sure that we include as many as we can in our future upcoming webinars. We have some webinars that are going to be more specific topic, and we'll send you emails on that. And then we will be doing some more free webinars too. So I'm glad that you guys were able to learn more. I, of course, want to know what nuggets you got out of it that you want to use and to utilize, because that makes sure that I am giving you the right information that you are going to benefit from. And as you know, nice specials will end at the end of tomorrow. I can't go for very long because there's such crazy good deals. I can only have so many people be able to take advantage of them. So please click the links once you get the email. That'll be in your inbox here pretty soon, with an opportunity to enjoy. But most of all, I'm just proud of you for stepping up to raise your deserved level, because there's somebody amazing out there wondering where you are. So have a great rest of your weekend.